Yo, what's up, traders? It's your one and only Forex Skill Coach, Team Legend, and I'm super excited having you all here today on this one. Today in this video, I'll be teaching you how to trade the boom and crash market and make a lot of money from the market. Now, whether you're buying or you're selling, that is to say, whether you're catching spikes or you want to pick up candles from the boom and crash market, this is a strategy that you want to try out. Disclaimer: this is not a financial advice, and you don't want to risk your money on this strategy just out of the blue. It is always advisable that you use your demo account to test run the strategy, and if you feel you are confident enough with it, then you can go into your live account. Though, as you can see, this is a live account that I'm currently trading on because I've test run the strategy and it's working for me. But before you want to do that, you always want to make sure you test run the strategy on your demo account severally, and if you feel you're confident with it, then you can go with it. All right, so let's get straight into the business of the day. All right, so before I even proceed, I will just have to place more buying position just below. All right, now that I have all my trades secured, let's get straight into the business. Now, this strategy is very simple, and this indicator is quite a beautiful indicator. It's a volume related indicator in the sense that it's an indicator that helps you see the volume of the markets. Now, you must understand that what moves the market is the volume. When there is enough volume in the market, the market experiences a good move, maybe to the upside or to the downside. It depends, but one thing that is always common is that there has to be volume in the market. All right, so this indicator that you can see on my screen here, all right, is the volume indicator, which I'm going to show you in a bit how to set it up, your parameters and all the rest. Just pay close attention to how to set it all up. Okay, and what you want to do is you always want to set your support and resistance. Very important when you get into the market. Okay, after setting your support and your resistance, so I'm just gonna put this one here. After setting your support and resistance, you always want to observe where is the market coming from and where is it heading to. Now, if you observe the trade that I took here, I took this trade here because when I looked at the market was already at a support level. All right, so when I observed that market, you can see that this was a very strong support level in the past. Okay, it was a support level in the past, and price played around that zone. So when I found out that price was in this zone and given the candlestick reactions, like the bulls were trying to take power to push back up, then I had to go over to my 15-minute time frame. Then at the 15-minute time frame, that was where I observed that after price came to the upside and was coming down gradually, the volume began to increase. As you could see here, there was a massive increase in volume. All right, you can see that when price came to the downside, the volumes were just normal, but when the bulls started pushing up, all right, and pushing up, when the struggle began around here, you get to see the reaction of the volume at that zone. So this was where the struggle began. All right, this was where the struggle began, at this support level. So it was creating a strong support level here. So the volume at that zone began to react, as we all could see here. If I just straight it up to the, we could see the volume began to react, and that was when I knew that, oh, I think the bulls are indeed gonna take power. So that was why I anticipated that buy position. So that was why I had to place the buy position, and when I placed the buy, I set my stop losses and I left the market to do its thing. And then that's why we could see the price began to go in favor. Now, the question you will ask me is, what's my confidence for placing these other trades that I just placed here? Now, the confidence that I have in placing these other trades here is the fact that I have an anticipation of where price is likely going to, which is somewhere here. You could see the reaction of the volume indicator in the past here. So this gives you an understanding that there is money sitting here, and indeed the bulls are likely going to want to push to the upside to this level where the volume indicator also had some huge reactions. Because if you observe, you would see how thin these places are. You can see they are very thin, but price volume began to increase gradually on this era. You see how volume began to increase gradually. So that tells us that at this era, all right, there's money sitting here. So this is my anticipation that the bulls are likely gonna want to push further to this upside. And when they get to this level, there's likely gonna be a reaction, maybe a rejection back to the downside. You never can tell, because when you observe, you can also see that we have some resistance level at that zone. Oh wow, I can see another thing that we could see that even on that zone there was a massive reaction from the volume indicator in the past also. All right, so you can see that indeed that zone is going to be a rejection zone in the future as price comes down. That means if you're looking forward to catching spikes in crash 1000, this is going to be a good zone for you to this is going to be a good zone for you to let me delete this one. So this is going to be a good zone for you to set your trades for catching spikes. Maybe you could just set an order, or maybe a sell order at that zone, right? So this is how you set a sell order. You just put it here. Okay, in order to set your sell order, you want to click on this this little icon on the top right, and then you want to drag all the way to where you're looking forward to selling from, and then you want to set your stop loss. So this is gonna be your stop loss. All right, and then you click on place. So you want to do that if maybe you want to open 3 trades or 4 trades or 5 trades, or as many trades as you can, as according to your account size and according to your appetite. All right, you want to set that sell order over there, so that when price gets to that zone, the moment price gets to this zone, immediately it clicks all your trade in a sell. It's because the thing is that the moment all your trades click in a sell and price gets to that level where there was that huge reaction from the volume indicator, there's every tendency that the bears will push down. Even if they don't push all the way down, at least they're going to push a little bit down, because here we can see this indicator here. Also, we can see that the volume indicator shows us I want to show you something. We can see that on this we can see right here that the volume indicator, this was where the volume began to rise. This is where the volume began to rise. So there's every tendency that if the bears begin to push down from here in the future, they will likely push all the way to here. All right, and there may be some reaction back up or deep down, you never can tell, but that's just my anticipation. All right, that's my anticipation that the bears are going to sell when price gets to this level. So it's just a simple strategy just for you to understand the move of the how the volume indicator works. All right, so now here is the parameter for the settings that I'm using. So if you go over to the indicator, you want to click on the market profile. Because you don't have the indicator set up on your chart yet, you might not see the things you see on mine. So you just want to click on the plus icon, and then you go under the volume. Under the volumes, that's where you see market profile, as you can see here, right? So I don't want to click to add another. Let me just go straight to the one I have already. This is market profile. So under the market profile, I have my start date to be 0, days to display 5, histogram multiplier 1, AS session opening 0, EU session opening 8, US session opening 14. All right, and then that's just it. Okay, the AS session, you can put any color you want. All right, EU session, you can put any color you want, so it all depends. Now the reason, now you might ask, what's the AS session, EU session, US session, and all the rest? What are they actually about? Now you need to understand that when the market moves, okay, when the market moves based on the sessions, those who were in power at a certain time, and how far they moved the market, where did they stop before they went out of session, because the next people who are going to enter into session would likely want to trade based on where the previous people left some money or some cash. So the new session would indeed want to trade to go grab some money. So so when these sessions trade, they trade and leave volume prints. All right, they trade and leave volume prints. That's one thing that you want to understand. So the US session and the EU session are very wonderful session. The AS session is the Asian session. Okay, so the US session and the EU session, which is you can see my US session is the pink, and the EU session is the Euro session, and the EU session is the blue, right? So that's what you could see here, that the pink and the blue, which is the US and the EU, all right, their volume, even though it's not so very high, but yet you can see the massive move from their session. That means there's quite a lot of money here. All right, but here now we have more of the Asian session and the EU session. So let's see, even the Asian session and the EU session, they had a nice move in the past. Let's see, on this end here we had more of the US session and the EU and the little of the EU, and the move was actually good. All right, the move was actually a good one. So here we have the same thing happening here, and here we have more of the Asian session and the EU session. So but all the way, you just anticipate a good sell when price gets to this level. If you have any question, don't hesitate to use the comment section. Hit the like button if you love this video, and don't forget to subscribe if this is your first time on my channel. Now you might be wondering, which broker am I using to trade the boom and the crash markets? I'm trading with Deriv, which is my #1 recommended broker for trading both gold, boom and crash, step index, and all the currency pairs. All right, Deriv. And in order for you to create an account, is very simple. At the description of my video right now, the very first link there is going to take you straight to create a Deriv account for you to get started in your trading journey. For the meantime, traders, make sure you stay safe and keep winning.